Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So soon we are expecting the LUCIO rework to hit the live servers after a few weeks of testing on the PTR. Whenever a new hero has been added to the game, they've mostly been looked at as a strong hero right as the changes are revealed. Then over time the community tend to criticise and highlight cons around these concepts. This is also what happened with the LUCIO 2.0 rework. We thought we'd make it easier not only for ourselves to break it down, get it, but also for you watching to get better ideas of how the new LUCIO should be played, what this new playstyle means exactly for the hero, but also what you should and should not do. To do this, we'll be giving you more of an overview of this active playstyle and also present to you some opinions from Overwatch pros and well-known people in the community. It's time for you to be less, look at this team, we're gonna be great, and now you're gonna start being great, LUCIO. You're gonna start being great. Let's get started.
As someone who has been playing quite a lot of LUCIO in the past few months with a bit of playtime in Platinum, but mostly in Diamond and Masters, I've learned a lot about what to do and not do in public ranked games when trying to be more aggressive and active as LUCIO. One of the most common mistakes when trying to be more aggressive playing LUCIO is over-aggression of different kinds. The most common one for people that don't play much LUCIO or play at a lower level is frontlining. I've seen lots of LUCIOs just throwing themselves into the front line without a plan. Instead of bringing the team with them into a strong push, they just end up out of position. So if you feel like you're getting road dog hooked too much as a LUCIO, then this is most likely the mistake you are making. Being aggressive is fine so long as you have a plan and also so long as you know when to be aggressive, when it's okay and when you can actually allow yourself to throw your hero into the face of the enemy. There are many factors behind knowing when to be aggressive as LUCIO, such as knowing that various abilities are on cooldown or that certain heroes are dead or just not present on the enemy team at all. And another factor here is the map and choke, which nicely ties into the next point. That is, maps matter, especially when it comes to being aggressive with LUCIO. A map like Lijiang Tower Gardens really allows for LUCIO to contest certain areas, such as the bridges and other points where you can boot people off, and sometimes he can even help contest these areas against several enemy heroes that are forced to hold off, try to pick the LUCIO or take another route. Then you can compare this to other maps such as Temple of Anubis, where it's a lot harder to be effective as LUCIO on both attack and defense. It's very common to, in these scenarios, just fly through the choke with one or two characters and not realize that you are splitting the team up by not being coordinated enough. Speed boosting doesn't coordinate a team in itself, it helps a team that is already well coordinated.
So these are some really common LUCIO aggression issues. To get a real good idea of how we should be playing LUCIO competitively, we got in touch with Ajax, who is the shot caller and support player for NRG. This is the team that Numlocked is on, and of course Seagull, Harblue, IDDQD, and Dummy. Some of these are really good friends of ours, so we just wanted to get in touch with him and ask how these new changes will affect LUCIO and how he should be played, but more importantly how he shouldn't be played. This was his answer. It's fairly lengthy, but there's a lot of interesting information in there. The new LUCIO is designed to put you in the fight. Currently live LUCIO encourages players to play very far back and passively and focus around peeling off your carries, which would be like McCree for example, and also your main supports, Anna. PTR LUCIO is forcing players to play more aggressively in their positioning, so LUCIO stays in aura range of his teammates. To rebalance the hero, they gave him a little bit more damage and reliability on his shots, so when he's in the fight he can actually fight back. He also has more mobility via his wall riding, which gives him more survivability, so while he is in the fight he doesn't just die instantly. Although this might make players instantly think, oh, so I just need to play like DSP Stanky now to be useful, and this is really far from the case. If the 10 meter aura range does go live, the LUCIO players will find it very difficult to go aggressive using your wall riding and stuff like that, whilst staying in aura range of your teammates. Ajax then goes on to emphasize the players have to be extra careful when going aggressive with the new LUCIO. This is where the mistakes that Miska talked about earlier come into play, as these mistakes will be even easier to make with the new LUCIO. With a smaller aura range, buff damage and mobility, LUCIO players are forced to be more active, but will have to work harder to make better use of the improved aspects of the hero, and make sure that they're still helping their team out, because that's ultimately what you're there to do. But generally, whilst it may be tempting to wall ride around the place pretending that you are in fact Stanky, you are very much a freak on a leash and you have a job to do. Speaking of Stanky,
and after hearing Ajax talk about DSP Stanky, we thought we'd contact him as well. So next up we have DSP Stanky's thoughts on these changes, the playstyle changes it may bring, and what players should think about. Stanky answers, basically, I think the new changes in their current state turn LUCIO into more of a paramedic instead of a map-wide aid station. The increased healing allows him to pocket heal, but you have to actually get to the person injured first. His wall riding passive is going to be utilized so much more because of this, so players who still want to remain effective with him will pretty much be required to practice wall riding. On that same note, these changes changes raised the skill floor, the minimum amount of experience required to cause an impact, for Lucio quite a lot. And no longer can people just say, oh, but Lucio takes no skill, blah blah blah, and so on. Also, I think it's entirely possible that quad tank will show up again in some form with these changes. On an 8+ amped healing will recover 50% or more at least of all of the tank's health in just a few seconds. Now this is definitely an interesting view on the changes as well. Stanky talks more about how this will change the game as a whole, and I definitely think he has a lot of good points, especially right towards the end with quad tank. The new Lucio healing should not be underestimated. It is incredibly strong, and it needs to be utilized just like Ajax highlighted as well. There are a lot of new aspects that Lucio players will have to think about, and people that just normally fill for the team will probably not have as easy of a time on Lucio anymore, as it does just require more from the player. To try to sum this up though into just a few words, it's important to know what you're doing as an active and more aggressive Lucio. These changes will make the mistakes that people make with aggressive Lucio even more common, so will require more from each Lucio player. On top of this, it is incredibly important to stay active, yet keep aiding your team, as the new smaller aura definitely changes Lucio's positioning quite a lot. And do also keep in mind to use the improved healing, especially with Amp It Up. Alright, I think that's pretty much it for this time though. I'm gonna hand it over to Ryan, but I hope you guys have learned a lot from this video. We tried to pack a lot of Lucio knowledge into one video, so I really hope you guys have learned something in the past few minutes.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. I do think it's worth clarifying that at this point of making the video, these changes are still on the PTR. There may be some changes here or there with Lucio's kit, changes some numbers and stuff like that, but the premise of the advice that we've given will pretty much stay the same if this playstyle of Lucio does in fact go through, which we're pretty sure that it will do. I think you definitely do want to watch these two Lucio plays that we included in this video if you play a lot of Lucio, and I know that a lot of you guys do. We are both really excited here at the channel with these new changes, so let us know what you think of the new Lucio in the comments. You can find information on Ajax and Stanky in the description below as well. And yeah, again, let us know what you think of the new Lucio and how you intend to play him. But thanks for watching, take care, we'll see you next time.